There are times in school whereby I put timetables of when to study. Okay, I'm going to be studying this particular time in the afternoon, and I'm going to be studying for this particular hour. I've written everything down, but then I still feel to stick with the plan. And each time I just remember that I need to study at that point in time, I don't still find myself studying. You have a timetable, you've organized all your courses, you know when exactly to study, you know what to study, and you know how exactly you are going to study, but you still feel to stick to your study routine. You lack the discipline and you are not motivated to actually pick up the book when you need to and stick with the plan you've stated. Plan is only on writing, but you didn't actually take it into action. If you have that particular issue or you have that particular problem, this video is for you, because right here on today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how you can stick with your plan that you've stated on what to study and when to study. If you are new here, I am Abayomi, and right here on this channel, I drop in tips and strategies that can help you as a student learn better and improve in your academics. And if that sounds like something you are interested in, please subscribe to my channel right now. The first thing that we advise you not to do is that you stop studying at the wrong spot. There are different locations. Your brain is actually been associated with activities in these locations. Most of the time when I'm planning my study, I tend to plan the time I'll be studying, the time of the day that I'll be studying, the place that I'll be studying are always written there, and the place that I'll be studying are actually linked to the kind of activity that I've stated for myself. If the time that I'm supposed to study is linked to when I'm in my room, I might just end up going to the bed and sleeping, and I will not end up doing what I'm supposed to do. But if I move to a particular place that I'm more energized and I feel like, okay, this place will actually put me in the mood of work, I tend to be more productive in that particular location. If you actually link what you need to study with a particular location that you know you will actually be in the mood of studying, there are possibilities that you stick to your study routine at any point in time. A loud and clustered place can actually interrupt your study routine. Maybe you stay in the hostel with that particular place is so crowded. There are possibilities that when you study there, you might not be motivated to continue, or because of the distractions, you might just end up not studying. The next thing that you need to take into consideration is to set a pre-study ritual. This actually helped me a lot to stick with my study plan. It's more like a warm-up for you. And when you've actually stated a time that you'll be studying, have a consistent warm-up or a ritual that you'll be doing whenever you want to study, and it tells your brain that, okay, it is time for you to study when you do these activities. And most of the time, me personally, when I want to study, I try as much as possible to put off my phone or put it on airplane mode. I set my table well. I put all the necessary materials that I need on that table, and I make sure that anything that I need is around me. So I won't need to stand up and say I want to pick up anything at any point in time. So when I start doing this activity, I am actually subconsciously telling my brain that, okay, it is time to study and you need to focus. So when I have my water, when I have my textbooks, when I have my writing materials with me around me, it makes it easy for me to focus, and there are possibilities that I will stick to the study routine at any point in time and I'll be more productive. But if you do not do all this activity, or you do not create a pre-study ritual, now there are possibilities that you will not end up sticking with your study routine. You can also create your own pre-study ritual. It could include you listening to a particular playlist, a calm song that puts you in the mood of focus whenever you want to study, and make sure that that particular music is not something that can actually cluster with your level of focus whenever you are studying. Another important thing that you need to take note whenever you want to study in order to stick with your study routine is to use the 5 minutes rule. Whenever you are not really motivated to pick up the book and study and stick with the routine that you've stated, try as much as possible to actually tell yourself that, okay, I have to do this for 5 minutes. It's more like tricking your brain into the action. If you think that the activity is going to be so long and it's going to be so boring, and what you need to study is so bulky, there are possibilities that you will not end up studying and you will end up not sticking to when you need to study that you've stated. So just trick yourself that, okay, I only have to do this for 5 minutes. If you do it for 5 minutes and you end up not focusing, then leave it and do something else. But most likely, when you trick yourself to that you want to study for that 5 minutes, you end up going longer, because at that point you're already in the flow state. The 5 minutes rule is just more like tricking your brain into action and tell yourself that it's not going to take that long. Let me just quickly do it for 5 minutes. It's just like a trick to lure you into the action of studying and tell yourself that, okay, you only have to do it for this amount of time. It makes it not overwhelming for you, and it makes it very easy for you to do it instead of just thinking about the overwhelming tasks and the voluminous materials that you need to read. This thing scares you away, and that's a major thing that doesn't help you to stick with your study routine. Another thing you need to do in order to stick with your study routine is stop studying like everyone else. This thing is very important, and I made that mistake when I was in my second year. Most of the time, there's always this tradition that anytime you want to study, you should always go to the library to study. I actually joined the bandwagon, go to the library to study at every point in time. And this didn't actually help me at all, because that particular point in time wasn't my peak period of studying. Most of the time, I end up forcing myself. You should actually look for your peak periods and set the time that you want to be studying in your peak periods, because that is when you focus the most, and that is when you'll be able to pay attention to whatever you are studying, and there's most likely you'll be able to stick with your study routine. So don't join the bandwagon that, okay, because everybody is going to study in the night, you have to study in the night. Because everybody is studying in the day, you are studying in the day. Because everybody is going to the library, you have to go to the library. Determine your peak periods and you'll be able to stick with your study plan. In 200 level, I kept going to the library because everybody was going to the library, and I end up not gaining anything because of the distractions in the library. Whenever I'm studying, that's when someone will stand up and say he wants to do something. I get distracted and I keep looking at people around me. But at my 300 level, I stopped going, and that was when I actually determined my peak periods. And at that point in time, I eventually picked a place where I'll be most focused, and it's the place that anybody least expects, because I actually have a corner where I study every single day, and it was not a place that people feel like, okay, you need to study in. But then I was studying there, and I actually used the 5 minutes rule most of the time, and in fact it's really changed everything. Another thing that you need to pay attention to is that pair studying with something you love. Most especially when I want to solve mathematics, because I studied economics in school, and majority of the things we did in economics was solving mathematical questions. So most of the time, I listen to music while I'm studying because I love music. So whenever I'm listening to music, I solve mathematics, and it puts me on a flow state. So at that point, I don't find it overwhelming or stressful when I want to solve maths, because I know I'm going to be listening to music and it's going to be a lot interesting. So anytime I want to solve maths, I'm always happy because I know I'm going to turn on the music and I enjoyed the flow. For you, look for other things you can do while you are studying, pair it with something you love, and it makes it easy for you to do it while you are. So that is all. If you got so much value from this video, please like the video and also subscribe to the channel. You can also check out this other video on how to create a study plan that works exactly for you. If you don't have a study plan before and you really want to create that study plan, this video is going to help you. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.